lemon meringue pie, and I am excited about that. It's going to be a lot of cooking on the stove, and it's going to go fairly quick. So I hope you guys are going to be able to watch that and follow along in your own homes. I'm giving a big shout out today to my good friend Jason Richards for donating my new island for our accent to our kitchen that I'm going to be used. So thank you for that. And also a shout out to my mom, because this is the recipe she always used when she made lemon meringue pie for us. So without further ado, let's get baking. Here my 9-inch pie crust that I have pre-baked, as you can see, and we're going to be using that today to put our lemon meringue pie filling in and the meringue on top. An earlier episode in my YouTube videos is where I have made the pie crust, so please refer back to that. And so now, since this is all pre-baked and ready to go, we're going to put that aside and get to the filling. Okay, this is very important in this part. We're going to be using one of these. This is a new item I don't think you've seen before. It's going to be easier for me to separate the eggs. So this recipe calls for 3 egg yolks, slightly beaten. And then, of course, we're going to put the egg whites in a separate bowl, and that's going to be used for the meringue later. So let's separate. You crack your egg. Put it in there. See how it has a nice handle that the lip can hold it, and we're going to separate it, and all the egg yolks or the egg whites come out the bottom. And you can find this utensil at your local dollar store or at any cooking area. It's not coming out. So there's your yolk. Let's do that for 3 of the eggs. So there you have it. There's our 3 egg yolks and our 3 egg whites separated. Now we're going to slightly beat these. We're going to be using these egg yolks and using them in the bowl because we need to have them separated. And the reason for that is we're going to be taking some of the hot mixture from our flour and cornstarch, and we're going to be tempering the egg so that they don't curdle. Then we're going to put a little bit of hot mixture into the egg, and then we'll put the eggs back into the pot, and then we'll stir it up. So we're going to start with our saucepan. Here we have one regular saucepan. It's fairly deep inside. And we're going to put the first 4 ingredients that we have on our pie filling, and that's going to be sugar, cornstarch, flour, and a dash of salt. So let's put that in the pot. Dash of salt, just a little bit, like you were putting some on top of your green beans for dinner. And we're going to use 1.5 cups sugar. Remember, dry measuring cups for dry ingredients and wet for wet. So this is a dry one. So there's our 1.5. We'll put that to the side. Now we're going to use our cornstarch. It doesn't matter what kind of cornstarch that we use. It's just, this is our major thickening ingredient, this and flour. So we're going to use 3 tablespoons. You can find cornstarch in your baking aisle of your grocery store. Here's our tablespoon. We'll level off the top. Okay, we'll put that to the side. Another thickening ingredients that we're going to use is flour. So we're going to also put in there 3 tablespoons of flour. This is all-purpose flour. Okay, so here's our 4 ingredients in there. We're going to whisk that together to make sure it's all incorporated before we add our hot water. No lumps. That looks real good. Now we're going to get our liquid measuring cup and we're going to use 1.5 cups very hot water. Not boiling, but very hot. So I'm going to go over to the tap and get some water. I'll be right back. Here's our 1.5 cups hot water. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our stove on to medium heat, and we're going to add the water. We're going to continuously stir it, and we're going to cook this for 2 minutes with a whisk. So let's get going. As you can see now, it's starting to thicken. See the consistency of that? It's starting to get to the edges, so let's be sure and get in the edges with our whisk. Okay, so now that the thickening agent is starting to work, remember we have our eggs here on the side that we put to the side. And we're going to take a little bit of this thick liquid. See how thick it's gotten and how nice that is? That's wonderful. We're going to take a little bit of that, turn off the heat, and put it into our egg mixture. We'll just pour a little bit in to temper our eggs. Whisk that together. And then pour back into the existing mixture. Take our spoonula, get all those eggs in there. Okay, now we will return the heat up to medium and whisk in those eggs. Wow, look how thick that's getting. It's perfect. Wonderful. Okay, that looks perfect. Okay, we're going to turn that off right now. Now we're going to get 2 tablespoons of salted butter and add that into the mixture. We have our salted butter, as I always used, and the marks. So let's cut that here. Let's cut that onto 2 tablespoons. And into the pot. Ooh, look how good that looks. It's perfect. But we haven't added the lemon juice yet. So let's get our lemon juice and add that slowly to the mixture. That mixture is going to need 1/2 cup of lemon juice. You may use fresh lemons or the kind that's in the bottle like this. So let's get that on our liquid measuring cup. So here we have our liquid measuring cup, and now we're going to pour in our 1/2 cup of lemon juice. And we're going to whisk that into the mixture. Looks good. As you can see, perfect consistency. Let's get our spoonula and make sure that all the goodness is from the bottom is nice and smooth. See that, with no lumps. So my trick for adding the lemon juice is at the end of this recipe. And the reason for that is it doesn't become as runny, and it sets a lot easier than if you add the lemon juice earlier. I've tried both ways, and the lemon juice at the end keeps thick and keeps that flavor in. So here we have it. We're done. Let's go over and pour it into our pie shell. My goodness, it looks good. Be sure and get all that goodness out of there. Okay, spread that around. Take a little shake. And there we have it. Now on to the meringue. Okay, so here we are. And the meringue now is optional. You don't have to have the meringue on your pie. I like it on there. And so the first thing we're going to do is preheat the oven to 400 degrees because we're going to cook the top of the meringue to make it nice and brown and very pretty looking. So let's preheat our oven. So with the meringue, the existing pie that we have that we're letting cool over there, it does not have to have any amount of time before you add the meringue. You can add it when it's cool and bake it in the oven, or you can add it just recently while it's still warm. So that's up to you and that's your choice. So here we have our 4 egg whites. We're going to put them in the bowl. And we're going to be showing the difference between stiff peaks and soft peaks. That's going to be the major difference when you make meringue, is you have to make sure it gets all the way to the stiff. So we have that. Then it's going to be called for 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. And cream of tartar is a agent that is used to create stiffness. It's also used to create thickness. So we're going to add that in there. And here we go. We have our beater. We're going to start that and we're going to start whisking. Can you see it starting to get bubbly? Now we're going to turn our whisk. So now we're going to turn our beater up to high. When it gets to look like this, we're going to add our sugar now, and we're going to be adding 6 tablespoons. On high. Okay, almost there. Have it, our stiffed peaks. See, if it's stiff, you take it and you put it over your head. Whoa, it worked. Okay, here we have our pie. It's starting to see, as you can see, it's starting to cool down and thicken. Let's add our meringue. Ooh, it's perfect. Be sure and add the meringue all the way to the edges. And that way, that none of the pie is exposed. So we're going to add it all, and then we're going to smooth it out. So I don't pipe my meringue on fancy. I just do it. You can pipe it if you have a piping bag. But now let's move it to the edges and add the swirls. Now, so for swirls, I like to take it up and go like that. Take it up, go like that. Take it up, go like that. You know, this is Leslie's basic baking. So you can do it however makes you feel good. Whatever you like. Now that's a lemon meringue pie. Woohoo! So here's our pie all ready. And before I've put it in the oven to brown the tops, now I'm going to put it in and I'm going to cook it for at least 10 minutes, but I'm going to watch it because I don't want these tips to burn. So into the oven it goes. And that's what it looks like when it's done. So because we put it back into the oven, the filling got warmed again. And so we're going to wait about an hour until we cut and I try it to let the filling cool so that it's solid again. And that's it. So we'll see you in a little bit and we'll do the taste test. For the taste test. A little warm still, so it might be a little oozy, but the meringue turned out great. I'm gonna try another bite. It's really good. The curd really turned out nice. See, it's a little warm there still. Enjoy your pie. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining and watching me bake, and I hope you make it at your house. Please post pictures on my Facebook page and subscribe to me. Look at my other videos. So until next time, I make it, you bake it.